I'm back, baby. That's right. It's another edition of Time About the Movies. Couple days late, but and a couple dollars short. But we're here. Certainly not queer, but nothing wrong with that per se. But just get used to it. That's what. Okay. You've waited this long. It's been a couple of days, as I said before. If you didn't see the best or worst of 1998 video where I updated my status, I've had allergies the last couple of weeks. These next couple of weeks are usually the worst time of the year for me and my allergies. My nose gets all stuffed up. I get a sore throat. I feel like I'm getting a cold or something like that. But as you can tell, I'm sounding a lot better. Even though it might not feel that way, I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I mean, I never had a fever, so this was something that kind of came and went. It started on Sunday night, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's just like, I'm not going to be able to do a regular episode without having to stop for a cough or because my nose won't stop running and I can't think straight. So, like I said, it's been a couple of days, but we finally are back in business here. June 19th, 2009, taking a look at 3 movies in particular that came out this weekend. All comedies. One worked, one didn't quite work so well, and the other is a steaming pile of garbage. See if you can guess which one that is from the 3 that we have here today. So let's start off with the biggest new release of the weekend. That is Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds starring in the romantic comedy, The Proposal.
Cutting it close. Oh, come on! Good morning, Miss Tate. I'll need you around this weekend. You have a problem with that?
No, it's my grandmother's 90th birthday, so I was going to go home and eat. It's fine. I'll cancel it.
Is that your family?
Yes.
They tell you to quit?
Every single day. Margaret Tate's office.
This isn't about my second raise, is it?
Margaret, your visa application is denied. You're being deported.
Deported? It's not like I'm an immigrant or something. I'm from Canada.
If you're deported, you can't work for an American company.
If there was any way at all that we could make this thing work. Pardon the interruption.
I understand the predicament, but there's something that you should know. We're getting married.
Who's getting?
You and I are getting married. Yes.
We are.
Getting married. Yes. Can't fight a love like ours. So, are we good?
Make it all legal and we'll put this whole thing behind us.
I'm not gonna marry.
If you don't, you'll be on the street all alone looking for a job.
Have the two of you told your parents about your secret love?
We're going to their place this weekend.
Oh, where's that?
Alaska.
Alaska. Where's Andrew's room? He'll sleep in here with you. We love to snuggle, don't we, honey?
Huge snugglers.
Breakfast for the happy couple. Oh, what is that?
I'm sorry.
Where is it?
This summer, how can you be around someone that made your life so miserable?
Sweetie, some proposals change you.
Why don't you get married here tomorrow?
Let's see a kid.
We'll just do it.
For better or worse.
You were a real kiss.
Sandra Bullock,
Hello?
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my God! Why are you there?
The Proposal.
Okay, I know this is usually the point of the review where I say, I think you can pretty much figure out what the rest of the plot is going to be. Clearly, this movie is going to be terrible. I mean, why would I have anything positive to say about this movie? Well, you might be surprised on this one. This is actually one of the better formulaic romantic comedies, and I've always said, you could make a good formulaic romantic comedy, but you have to do it with good chemistry from your two leads, and Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds definitely have that. Bullock plays a Canadian executive who learns that she may face deportation from the U.S. because her visa renewal application was denied. Determined to retain her position as editor-in-chief of a publishing house, she convinces her long-suffering personal assistant, played by Ryan Reynolds, to temporarily act as her fiancé. See, I'm still not sounding completely right here, but I'll get through this. But you also see the cast also includes Malin Ackerman, Craig T. Nelson, Mary Steenburgen, and Betty White, which is very significant because this was around the time when there was this little bit of a Betty White renaissance. I mean, everyone wanted to be in the Betty White business. I mean, she would soon star in her. This was kind of the start of that because she would later be appearing in other comedies from Touchstone. There was also a TV show that came out around that time, Hot in Cleveland. And more notably, she was in a Snickers Super Bowl commercial, and that was really the thing that really set this Betty White renaissance to the next level, because she was later appearing on Saturday Night Live for the first time, and she had kind of a little bit of a renaissance at this point. I mean, it was something that was very unusual and unexpected, and it's kind of started with this movie in particular. And I mean, she's fine in particular. She's not really all that groundbreaking or anything that amazing in there, but it's fun to see Betty White in a movie like this. It's fun to see all these people in here. And boy, did Ryan Reynolds need this badly. Like, if you told me in the summer of 2009 which Ryan Reynolds movie was going to be the bigger hit, most people would have probably told you X-Men Origins Wolverine, right? And then look what happened. The proposal ended up being a much bigger hit. It was a bigger critical success, and surprisingly, he and Sandra Bullock really worked well off each other. This was a big year for Sandra Bullock, too, because, she had this, and then she would have ended the year off with The Blind Side, and then have a comedy in the middle that didn't quite work. But we'll eventually get to that one when we get to Labor Day. I mean, this is a perfect example of a good, fun, little romantic comedy. It's not asking you to think with your brain. It's not just dumbifying itself down. It doesn't have all these dumb characters in particular that you just can't stand. You don't want you don't want to be anywhere near these people. No, it's a romantic comedy that's doing what its job. It's doing its job. It's got two likable leads to it. The script overall isn't bad. I mean, there's a couple of moments where the jokes don't really fly, but for the most part, the movie definitely delivered a lot more than I think a lot of people give it credit for. I don't think this is as good as something like Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, which I think is a criminally underrated gem that we've looked at before. But this film in particular, I thought was really good. I thought it was a big surprise. I didn't think it was going to really amount to anything when it came out, like most people did. I thought it was just going to be another bland, generic Sandra Bullock comedy, but it's more than that. It's a fun, serviceable, bland, generic romantic comedy. And yeah, it's a very formulaic storyline, but as I said before, if your two leads are working off each other so well, you can let that slip aside because you're enjoying what's going on. And you can enjoy a lot about this movie that makes it work overall. It's a very, very good film, a well-made film. Surprisingly, a lot better than it had any right to be. What a fun little surprise from the summer of 2009. The Proposal, pretty damn good movie. One I would highly recommend checking out. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is the comedy that you would think would be good because it has Jack Black and Michael Cera, more importantly, Harold Ramis as the director, but, yeah, let's talk about Year One.
They're not hunters. And they're not warriors.
I'd like to see how big you are without that whip. Same basic size.
On June 19th, I was chosen by the gods!
Yeah, here we go. I never got a sword.
That's just really too fast. Oh, sorry! That was pretty amazing with the old... Year One.
My God, 2009 had some really, really bad comedies. I mean, we've already taken a look at a couple of them so far. Bride Wars, New in Town. We haven't even gotten to Old Dogs yet, but Year One is definitely one of the worst, not only comedies, one of the worst movies of the year of 2009. And just, I mean, I can't believe how bad this movie was. I couldn't believe it back then. I still can't believe how this film has just gotten worse as time has gone on. It really should not be that bad of a movie. It's a funny concept. Basically, it's a parody of the Book of Genesis, where you have two tribesmen played by Jack Black and Michael Cera, who travel to the city of Sodom to save their love interests, Juno Temple, and, can't remember who the other one was that they were trying to save. June Diane Raphael. That was the other person that I'm thinking of here. I was thinking of Olivia Wilde, but no, she's another character in this movie, but to save their love interest after being banished from their tribe. Problems quickly emerge during their journey as they encounter several biblical figures across the way. And on paper, it really doesn't look that bad. I mean, it literally looks like a modern-day retelling of, a modern-day version of something like Holy Moses or History of the World Part 1, those movies from the 80s. Because it has a lot of stars in there. It takes place at a period time. And if that was it, this movie probably would not be anywhere near as bad as it is. But I mean, even the performances in here aren't bad either. Jack Black and Michael Cera are fine. They're not that great in here. They're just being Jack Black and Michael Cera. The cast overall is really good. I mean, Oliver Platt, David Cross, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Vinnie Jones, Juno Temple, Diane Raphael, Olivia Wilde, Bill Hader, Hank Azaria. The cast is good in here. The people who made this movie are not hacks either. Like I said, Harold Ramis directed this movie, and it was the last thing he directed. And Gene Stupnitsky and Lee Eisenberg, these are guys from The Office. There's no reason why this movie shouldn't be as bad as it is. And if you take away one aspect of it, it's a serviceable comedy. Unfortunately, somebody at Sony Pictures saw The Love Guru while they were making this movie and told the people making this movie, "Hey guys, I've got a great idea. I just see this amazing movie called The Love Guru. It has Ben Kingsley pissing in a gold vat. I mean, it's got two elephants fucking in the middle of an ice skating rink. That's what we need in our movie. So take the script that you had before." Add in poop jokes. Add in a ton of gross out humor because that's what the kids want to see. We're gonna have a blockbuster hit on our hands. Oh God, yeah. When the crude humor starts, that's where the no is. And let me talk about the cruel humor in this movie with a better example of a cruel humor joke from from a much better comedy called Airplane. The shit literally hits the fan. And literally, let's talk about what the problems with the cruel humor. It's not even funny. It's just characters are just doing things for the sake of, being gross because it's not even an R-rated movie. It's a PG-13 movie, and even for a PG-13 movie, this is just pathetic. I mean, you ever seen where Jack Black is eating poo for no reason? You have Michael Cera sleeping on a man who farts considerably for no reason. A drag queen high priest played by Oliver Platt, and just, last time Oliver Platt was used in a Harold Ramis movie, he was one of the best things about that movie, and that was The Ice Harvest. And really, if you want to see a legendary comedy director in the prime of his career with a movie that really is much better than this pile of garbage is, The Ice Harvest is the movie to go. Don't even bother with this movie. Good Lord, this movie was unbelievably bad. I could not believe it. And yeah, it's bordering on Love Guru bad. It's that bad. But unlike a movie like The Love Guru, where everything about it was just wrong on so many levels and just so unfunny, there are times when the humor can work. Not the gross out humor, but the humor in general. Like the stuff that they're given to these very good comedic actors. It can work. The stuff with Cain and Abel, David Cross and Christopher Mintz-Plasse. That was funny. That was actually pretty good. Some good, funny comedy. Olivia Wilde has some good, funny moments in here. So do a lot of the actors in here. But really, the main problem with the movie comes with their lazy attempts to bring in gross out humor because that's what the kids want to see, as the studio execs at Sony were thinking when they make this movie. Like whoever said put gross out humor in this, I hope they got their ass fired because of this. Because, man, this is a terrible, terrible movie and such an insulting way for Harold Ramis to go out. There's one of the great comedy directors of all time, one of the great comedy people in general, and this is the shit he's got to go on, literally. Like this, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable how horrible this movie is. This is a terrible, terrible comedy, and had it been not for the few bits where there were actually some good, funny moments with the main cast, I would have said this is one of the worst movies of the year. Which it is. It definitely is. But compared to Bride Wars, compared to what we'll get to later on in the year with Old Dogs, and compared to some other comedies we'll get to that are absolutely god-awful, yeah, this is bad, but trust me, it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. So strap yourself in, because we're only at the halfway mark of the summer of the year of 2009 in terms of comedy. This was not one of the stronger years for comedies in general, even though there were some good comedies. The Hangover was good. Ghost of Girlfriend's Past was good. This one's definitely one of the worst ones. Easily. So let's try to end this on a much more positive note with our last movie here. Woody Allen's latest film, starring Larry David, Whatever Works.
Religious psychotics wind up praying at my doorstep.
She left me.
That happens with you heteros.
That would make you... that's a sin against God's law. He made the whole universe perfect. The oceans, the skies, beautiful flowers.
That's right, he's a decorator.
Unbelievable. Whatever love you can get and give, whatever happiness you can provide, every temporary measure of grace, whatever works.
I mean, honestly, you look at this trailer and you can pretty much get a good sense of everything that's kind of not working for this movie in general. It's not a bad movie, but it's definitely an example of a film where you have two very different styles of comedy coming together and not meshing well at all, but attempting to impress his ideologies on religion, relationships, and the randomness and worthlessness of existence. Lifelong New York resident Boris Yelmennikov, played by Larry David, rants to anyone who will listen, including the audience, but when he begrudgingly allows naive Mississippi runaway Melody St. Anne Celestine, played by Evan Rachel Wood, to live in his apartment, his reclusive rages give way to an unlikely friendship, and Boris begins to mold the impressionable young girl's worldly views to match his own. When it comes to love, whatever works is his motto, but his always perplexed life complicates itself further when Melody's parents eventually track her down. So, it's kind of like a little bit of a similarity to As Good As It Gets, the Jack Nicholson movie from about 12 years prior to this, which was done a whole lot better. But really, you watch the trailer and you can see the instant problem with the movie right away. Woody Allen's trying to make his own movie, but he's also trying to do it's basically Curb Your Enthusiasm the movie, because when you watch this trailer, it's definitely feeling like a movie that Larry David is the director and star in. This does not feel like a Woody Allen movie at all. And it's just one of those examples where you have two different comedy mindsets. Woody Allen and Larry David don't have the same style of comedy. I mean, at least, I don't think I see it overall. There's times when you could probably sense it a little bit, but, I mean, Larry David cemented his style of comedy with Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Woody Allen's comedy is definitely nowhere near the lines of Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm. At least I don't think it is, but yeah, it just fails to find an identity right away, and kind of ends up ripping off much better movies, such as Good As It Gets. I mean, you got a good cast overall here: Larry David, Evan Rachel Wood, Patricia Clarkson, Ed Begley Jr., Michael McKean, Henry Cavill, one of his early film roles. But yeah, overall, you just come out of it feeling like, I should like this movie. I mean, it's Larry David in a Woody Allen movie. Larry David can be very funny. Woody Allen can be really good, but this is definitely one of those films where I think there was a good idea on paper, just bad execution overall. And I think that's really where the problems come into play here. I don't think the film really finds that true identity of what it wants to be and how it can distance itself from one person's different form of comedy and try to mesh it together well here. It just really struggles to find an identity. Sometimes it can be funny, sometimes it can work, but it's not enough for me to say it's one of Woody's better movies. It's definitely one of the lesser Woody Allen movies. Not a bad film, but just one that I'm probably never going to watch again is right away. It's something that, for maybe a one-time watch, just for the curiosity's sake, it's probably worth it. But other than that, though, it's just really not worth it in the end. It's a letdown, too, because there's so much potential that could be done here, but again, it's just finding the compromise for both of these different people's style of comedy to make it work, and it's just not there, unfortunately. So, yeah, mixed opinion, but mostly kind of leaning towards you really shouldn't watch whatever works. Maybe for a one-time watch if you're a big Woody Allen or Larry David fan, but you're never going to want to watch it again after this. And so, with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and next time we meet, we'll wrap the month of June up with 3 big movies. One of the big blockbusters of the year, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, the sequel to Michael Bay's Transformers, which definitely is a major step down from the previous movie, and we're going to explain why that is. I think you can pretty much figure out what it is, but we'll definitely delve into that one. We'll also delve into Cameron Diaz and Abigail Breslin starring in the cancer drama My Sister's Keeper. And the Best Picture of the Year was released this weekend. The Oscar winner for Best Picture, Catherine Bigelow's The Hurt Locker. So we will take a look at those 3 movies coming up tomorrow on the show. I hope. More than likely it's going to be that way. I think we're back on schedule here. So with all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this. Sorry again for the couple-day delay, but if you're watching this later on down the road, you're probably not even going to notice it. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like it, please go ahead and hit that playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification button, and the bell. That's where you get updates on when new videos come out, and we do post new videos here every day. So with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.